This year, I am working on a very specific reading challenge that my local library had put on, and they posted 116 prompts to read from. So I had created a TBR basket with all of those prompts in the basket to select and read from. Let's go ahead and choose the next book from the TBR basket. Okay. Choosing ceremony. I like calling it the choosing ceremony. I want like romantasy. Can I have the romantasy, please? Probably not. What did I get? What else would I be okay with? It doesn't matter. All right, what is this one? Ooh, I'm actually very excited about this one. Okay, number 10, myth. Whoops. All right, number 10, myth. I'm very excited about this one. I know the exact one that I'm going to pick for this. And it's also not too painfully long, and that is Circe by Madeline Miller. I'm very excited for this. Okay. However, I can't jump right into it. I have one more video to film, which is going to be my reading plans for April. So I will catch up with you when I start reading this book. Actually, let's go ahead and talk about Circe. So Circe is, probably everyone knows about this book. I feel like I'm the last one to read it, honestly. And I will also be the first one to admit that I am not very well versed who all the gods and goddesses are and all of the stories in these tales and stuff like that. For whatever reason, it's just one of those things, like I just find it just like this massive thing to understand. But I have been really enjoying retellings of these different stories, like Song of Achilles. I love that story. It's really, really good. Anyways, Circe is a goddess, a witch goddess, and she's feared. But I'm just gonna go ahead and read the inside. In the house of Helios, god of the sun and mightiest of the Titans, a daughter is. But Circe is a strange child, not obviously powerful like her father, nor viciously alluring like her mother. Turning to the world of mortals for companionship, she discovers that she does possess power. Power of witchcraft, which can transform rivals into monsters and menace the gods. Threatened, Zeus banishes her to a deserted island where she hones her occult craft, tames wild beasts, and crosses paths with many of the most famous figures in all of mythology, including the Minotaur Daedalus and his doomed son Icarus, the murderous Medea, and of course, wily Odysseus. But there is danger too, for a woman who stands alone, and Circe unwittingly draws the wrath of both men and gods, ultimately finding herself pitted against one of the most terrifying and vengeful of the Olympians to protect what she loves most. Circe must summon all of her strength and choose once and for all whether she belongs with the gods she is born from or the mortals that she has come to love. Yes, I am so excited and pleased with this selection. We'll catch up later when I start reading it.
Hey guys, good morning. It is Saturday morning. It's probably been about 5-ish days since we last spoke. I have been working on Circe. That is really cool looking. Oh my gosh, my allergies are getting to me. We have been keeping very busy, but I still have managed to find some nice balance to also spend time reading. I'm on page 134, which is about in the middle of chapter 10, I want to say. Very near to chapter 11. I feel like overall this book is pretty decent, but the reading process seems to kind of be dragging on a little bit. There are a lot of explanations of a ton of different characters. To me, this is not the page turner that I feel everyone was saying that this book was. Obviously, Madeline Miller is an incredible, talented writer. She has a lot of great descriptive language. I'm feeling a hair lost in all of the different characters because there's definitely a disconnect because Greek mythology is really not my thing. I feel very overwhelmed by all of the different relationship dynamics of the gods and all their children. And I also did not read Percy Jackson series. I know a lot of people grew up with the Percy Jackson series and have learned Greek mythology through school and now are coming into this, and so it all feels very familiar. I don't have that experience, so I'm feeling a little bit more lost. So there is that, but I can still appreciate Circe's story and how she is like the black sheep. All of her siblings, everybody, all the gods would make fun of her. She is basically invisible to them. Her hair has too much brown in it, and so she's not glorious like the rest of them, and they judge her severely for it. Also, she doesn't really have any powers of her own or any special gifts or talents. So she finds finds pharmaca, which is basically equivalent to a witch's work. Apparently they don't like witches. I don't know. It's probably because it stings their ego that someone could harm them being gods and have that power over them because, like, whatever, I guess they're really egotistical and narcissistic. Cersei gets isolated to her own island because of something that she does, which these different men come to visit her island. I'm kind of in the midst of that, and I'm at this part where she is summoned to visit her sister because her sister is having a baby and is in need of her witchcraft. It's kind of interesting. I'm just like, these gods are so stupid. I don't like them. I know that's the point. It's kind of ridiculous, the things that they do. That is kind of funny. We'll just have to see how it goes. It's a slower paced read for me. I'm feeling like there's a lot of passages where I just want to get through the passage quickly and on to like the next scene, or I find myself wanting to just kind of skip through dialogue scene. Like during dialogue scenes, there's a lot of like extra explanatory language between the lines of people, what they're conversating on, and I just kind of find myself skipping just to the dialogue to like get to the point. I'm just not entirely interested enough to want to just live in this world. I kind of just want to get to the point. So it's definitely disappointing because I know this book is highly beloved within the booktube community, and I'm just not feeling that love. I hope that by the time I'm done with this journey, that I do feel that it is worth my time, because I feel like when I'm done with the journey, I will have gleaned a lot from this book and from Cersei, and I will have learned a little something more about Greek mythology. It's just not my favorite. It's not one of those books where I'm just like, oh my god, I love this book, you know? It's just kind of like, I am splitting my reading time with another book called Strange Folk by Ali Dyer. I have it on my Kindle. This is an arc, and to be fair, I'm really bad at reading the arcs that I get, but I wanted a book to read on my Kindle. So I just opened that and it really hooked me in. So I'm kind of feeling more invested in that book than I am in Cersei, because I find it just really fascinating. But anyways, like this morning I read from that book for a while, and then I got up, got my coffee and all that stuff, and then tried to make some progress in this book. Right now, I would love to just be able to read, but I do kind of feel that I need to do something productive. So I'm going to try to figure out what that task is, and then I'll probably get some more reading done. But anyways, we'll catch up soon.
Well, that's about as good as it's going to get. The lighting in this room is killing me. I've been spending 20 minutes just finding the right spot to film, and I have to leave in like 15 minutes. We're going to try to talk about this pretty quickly. Cersei, I DNF'd this book. I'm sorry. I know this book is beloved. It was a very difficult decision for me to just give up on it, but I do not understand the hype around this book. It is so loved and beloved, and I wanted to love this book so much, and I kept thinking, if I just push through, I know I'll probably end up liking everything by the end of it. But it was such a drag. It was so slow. The last 2 chapters were literally putting me to sleep. When I go back and think about some of the actual things that were happening in this book, I mean, they're definitely really crazy. These gods are insane. When I think about the situations that these gods get themselves into, I'm like, y'all are just crazy. We got monsters, and Cersei herself is a pretty cool character. And I could really identify with her character because she apparently is an ugly god because she has too much brown in her hair. Oh my god, forbidden. But everyone makes fun of her. They call her names. They mistreat her. They call her ugly, and she doesn't really have a gift. She's also the daughter of Helios, and she loves her father. And then all these nymphs and her siblings and stuff are just absolutely horrible. She discovers magica, which is basically mixing herbs together and poisoning things, doing magic more like a traditional witchcraft with herbs and stuff, and it has been one of the only ways that you could harm a god. So she ended up using this on a couple of characters. One character was her sister, who she turned into a monster, a sea monster, who kills sailors all the time. So because of that, they cast her out to go live on an island by herself, where she bums around and with this magica. The part where I left off is when her one of her other sisters is having a baby and asks her to come home with the permission of their father to help her with this issue because it's something that probably only she can help her with. Oddly enough, she's completely horrible to her the whole time. She makes her jump through these hoops. She makes her go through this very specific passage in the sea so that she can maybe get eaten by her other monster sister. I don't know. Kills a bunch of people in the process. And then by the time when she gets back to wherever to see her sister is just like has nothing nice to say to her despite her sitting there asking her for help. And of course Cersei helps her. And I'm just like, okay, I would just say no. Her sister needs her help because apparently she accidentally did something with a beast or whatever and is now is birthing some, I think it's the Minotaur. So she's birthing the Minotaur. And I thought that part was hilarious and kind of like karma. And the way that they said it, the way it came out is really funny. I just didn't want to say it on the internet. Yeah, there's that. When I go back and talk about the events that happened in this book, it's kind of funny and it might be worth reading. But then I think about the actually reading this book and there's like so many long drawn out passages and flowery writing and it's a drag to read, to be honest. I am so bored. Fuck, I gotta leave in like 5 minutes. Okay. So what I ended up reading, I put that one down and I ended up picking up Spend the Dawn. And my God, I am so glad I did. I flew through this book. I could not put it down. I really enjoyed the story. This is like Mulan meets Project Runway, which is really cool. I love Project Runway. It's not like the greatest, most intellectual book, but it was a lot of fun to read. And this is also based on myth. The magic system is kind of cool. So this follows a girl named Maya, who is the youngest of 4. Her mother has passed. Her father runs this shop, and because of circumstances, it is failing. Her dream is to become the emperor's tailor, but you can't be as a girl. They do not hire women. So she cuts off her hair, and nobody else in her family can go because of other circumstances, which I don't want to spoil for you. So she cuts off her hair, and she goes there and poses as her brother. Stakes are high. If she gets in trouble, like if she gets caught, she can die and put her family in a really bad position. And when she gets there, she wasn't aware, but it's also a competition with a bunch of other tailors. Also, the emperor needs to get married to this woman from the enemies, and she does not want to get married, but the emperor wants to make her happy. And so he puts her in charge of this whole thing. And she makes them do the most insane things. And it's really, really fun. What else? Oh, there's also some magic in here. We have an enchanter, which kind of reminds me of like a different story. He is really cool. And we have this really slow burn romance, which is really nice as well. Oh, and she has this, she's given this gift from her dad, which is really interesting. And I really love what she does with it because she's been given the ability to use this power, but she has a lot of really good reasons why she doesn't want to use that power to win. And she wants to win on her own merit. And I just thought it was so cool. What else? Anyways, I will develop more of my thoughts on this when it comes to the wrap up, but I really enjoyed this. I don't know. This feels like a complete book though, and I just don't know if I'm going to read the second one. I think I will eventually. I'm undecided on when I'm going to read the second one because naturally I would normally just pick it up now, but I have a lot of other things that I've been reading and it would just kind of not be what I'm in the process of trying to accomplish right now. So yeah. The next one is called Unravel the Dusk. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and end this vlog here. I have to run. And then I think I'm going to choose the next one very soon. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you soon. Bye.